This should not be the last time you see my face today, people. We should be back later today for a live show talking about an incoming transfer. I am KG. This is the cool down, and this should not be the last time you see me today. Will it be? I don't know. The transfer window is shut in by the close of play tomorrow, Monday evening. We will know the state of play, who is in our squad, who isn't in our squad, and we will know what kind of chance we will have to survive. We're going to get into all of that. Daniel Farke's comments, some movement around as well. That's very interesting. And I also want to highlight a player in particular of our team. So listen, people, Daniel Farke spoke after the game, and I watched the thing, so I got the inflection in his voice and everything when he was making the comment. So I have seen it, but Baron Cross has summed it up nicely in these tweets. Pleased with the start to the season, 4 points, 2 clean sheets. Today played one of the best sides in the UK. Not much between the two teams. A well-deserved point. We probably had the best chance, i.e. Dominic Calvert-Lewin's chance, but I don't want to be too greedy. The only thing I disagree with him is don't want to be too greedy. He's got to let go of that. Be greedy, Daniel. Say, you know what? We had the best chance. We should have taken 3 points. Be ruthless in that way. But yeah, he's absolutely right with everything else he said, and I agree. I think a point was fair for both sides. And I think Eddie Howe concluded that as well. On transfers, always hope for transfers. We were honest about where we are. Good path, strengthen the defensive midfield. Dominic will be good for us. Noah was on the bench for an emergency. We will need more quality options up front trying to do this. And just a little bit more on that. Noah was on the bench for an emergency. I did say in the match reaction that I felt he was just there for aesthetics and PR business, just to make sure that the new injury-prone signing wasn't already injured and off the team sheet. And I think that's what it was. I don't think we was ever going to see Noah Okafor yesterday, because I think even if there was another substitution to make, if there was one allowed, it would have been probably Peru to come on before Okafor. I think he was literally there just to go, oh man, it looks bad if the new guys are already out injured while Ramazani's doing assists out in Valencia. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Okafor over the break, and hopefully he can heal his groin. But yeah, in terms of what he was saying about transfers, he was basically upfront with it, saying, and to be fair to Danny Farke, he has said this previously, so I'm being absolutely fair. He said, look, we'll have enough for the first few games, but over the long term, it won't be enough. And that's literally what he was saying in this press conference. He's saying, look, we've done well so far, but over a 38-game season, we're going to need more. And you just look at the game yesterday, people. If Newcastle had scored, and this is all if, buts, and maybe, so it doesn't exist, but if Newcastle had scored, maybe we would have scored after, but what was the likelihood of it? You know what I mean? It's one of those where if Newcastle score, maybe they just shut up shop and we can't break them down. And I think that's kind of the thing he's talking about. He's, you know, you see how the team's made up. We're going to be strong. We're going to be resolute. You know, not the Arsenal game, but you get my point. But you still need to score goals. You still need to create. And we did not create nearly enough yesterday. And that is what Danny Farke is talking about now. There's another argument to say, well, you talk about strengthening the options and you've sent out Ramazani on loan and kept Harrison and Aronson, and it's a fair point. But to him, in his mind, it makes sense. And whatever else he's trying to get done with the club, he feels will aid him in the quest for survival. And it's going to be important because the teams around us are trying to strengthen as well. Bit of turmoil at Brentford, but the teams around us are getting players in that are ceiling raisers, and I don't think we've quite done that yet in terms of just general. But again, we'll speak about that in the transfer window. Stack for me is a ceiling raiser, but in general, I'm talking about. But yeah, he was very steadfast in his hunt for transfers, and we will see about what happens in the next couple of days. On Perry, Lucas came with an injury. 2 clean sheets is always good. We know he can improve his kicking. We don't want him acting like a 10 or an additional outfield player, but room for improvement. Needs time with the goalkeeper and coach. Main thing is saving the ball. So far, so good. And I agree with that as well. I know so many of you wrote off Perry sauce after the Arsenal game, but it's a completely different kind of mode he's in now. He's usually on the Arsenal kind of team in his league whereas this is going to be completely different for him. He's going to have to be more alert. He's going to have to be ready for more action. And that will come. I do believe in Lucas Perry. Yes, the kicking needs to improve. We spoke about that on the match reaction yesterday. A lot of long kicks to Nonto or James, which just doesn't make any sense when you've got, big lump Metro up front. But yeah, as long improve the distribution, cool. But if we're going to be in a situation where he's saving us points more often than not, can't play with his feet, a la someone like Nick Pope, I'll take it. Honestly, people, the whole kicking out thing, it's everyone trying to be Manuel Neuer. Not everyone is Manuel Neuer, so do what you're here to do, and that is save points for Leeds United, and he helped do that yesterday. So again, good performance from Perry bouncing back after Arsenal. Again, more on the transfer window. I don't play games. I'm honest. We will try everything to get the best squad. Everyone is aware once they add quality, this is crucial. If not, we will not raise the white flag. It would be difficult if we didn't add anyone, but we will go from there. And what he meant was it will be difficult to stay up if we don't add anyone. And he's absolutely right, people. And I think anybody who thinks that just because we've got 4 points out of 3 is thinking that we're going to coast the rest of the season, it's hopeful. I won't say delusional, but you're being very, very hopeful in that we're gonna draw our way to safety kind of thing. It's not going to work over a long period of the season because the games will come thick and fast. When the international breaks stop, it will be game after game, and you're going to have to get in a rhythm. And the thing what else doesn't help a rhythm is if you're not scoring goals, and we have not scored a goal in the league from open play. So there are so many things we need to improve on in order to get this team above that dreaded dotted line. And Daniel Farke is absolutely correct in everything he's saying here. So it is on the board. Whether we believe that they're the right players or not, whatever Daniel Farke is looking for from the board to help him at this stage, they're going to have to try and get it. They're going to have to get it to help him create. We need a creator in that team, people, and a striker. DCL, and I think it was pretty obvious as well with what he said in terms of Dominic will come good. DCL is going to be our main number 9 this season, and I'm convinced by that. I doubt we're going to see another striker. It would not surprise me if we get in another right winger to get James down to the bench and a creative 8 in there, a la a Gus Harmer or somebody like that. I think that is more likely than getting in another out-and-out striker, because I don't see Joel Peru moving in this window either, and it doesn't make sense to have Metcher, DCL, Peru, and another striker. It just doesn't make any sense when we only play one up front. So it's going to be very interesting, people, to see what we get. I'm going for another right winger and a creative central player. What say you in the comments? And that was basically it in terms of what Farke said. But I do want to highlight, for me, my man of the match yesterday. And listen, Longstaff was good. He did everything right in terms of duels and battling and everything else like that. But I thought overall, Jayden Bogle, for me, was the most outstanding player on the pitch. Even after Farke shouted at him for whatever reason, don't know what that was. Maybe he wasn't tracking back when he needed to. Who knows? But over the past, how many games we played? 4 games in total. He had to come on against Sheffield Wednesday to save that game. Well, temporarily. I think Jayden Bogle has been absolutely brilliant. And even in the Arsenal 5-0 drubbing, it wasn't him that was, making error after error. It was more over on Goodmanson and Strauch's side. So for me, Jayden Bogle has come out at the start of the season with a lot of credit, as considering what he went through with Sheffield United the last time. I think he's been absolutely brilliant. And long may it continue, Jayden, because who knows where he could go if he continues in this kind of form, because he really has been that good for me. So listen, hopefully there's more to come from Jayden, and he's nailing down that spot at right back. We'll see what else happens with Jayden. But yeah, just want to shout him out. But listen, people, there's a bit of other transfer news. And I've spoken about this midfielder before, Onyedika, who is at Club Bruges. Look at the deal that he's looking for, or the deal that Frankfurt are looking for, is talks are underway for a loan with a mandatory option of around 50 million euros. That's an amazing deal. So you're getting him on loan for the season if they do approve it, and then you're kicking the transfer fee down the road, which obviously would suit us as well. Onyedika as a midfield option would have been absolutely brilliant. That's the kind of signing I'm looking at and going, how much does that strengthen your midfield? Instead of putting in the 3 midfield that we had against Newcastle, you put Onyedika in there if Tanaka or Ampadu's out. That would have been brilliant. But yeah, he looks like he's set to go to Germany, and good luck to him. Someone that we've spoken about before, Kevin, looks like Fulham and Shakhtar have got an agreement for him for around 42 million euros. People saying that's too expensive, but I look at our spending and say we spent just over 100 million now, maybe. If you had got in a Kevin, that's 142. But if you sell some players that should have been sold, then you can get a Kevin in the team. Now, not to say that he would have come here. I think we've seen how summer's gone, but Kevin, that's a difference maker. And look, Fulham are set to sign him for that fee. Another one, and this is more for our relegation rivals. Arokadare is set for Wolves. That looks like it is done and dusted now, as Fabrizio said, 100% done. Again, you're looking at what is that, a 20-something million fee? That would have been, perfect. And again, even if you were to get Kevin and Aroka there, that takes your spending to less than 200 million. And if you make the right sales, then you're offsetting it against some sales you've made, and that would have been good. That these two players would have been like real difference makers in the team that we've currently got. And yeah, Wolves are getting a good one here. We'll see if they keep Strand Larsen. That's a big one for them. Newcastle are still sniffing. And by the way, speaking of Newcastle and dominoes falling, you see with Visser today putting out a statement. You saw what happened with Nicholas Jackson yesterday. He's there at Bayern Munich, and then Chelsea get an injury to Liam Delap, and they've said, no, you got to come back. I'm not saying that it happens all the time, but I'm just saying from stories I hear from players, lower down the leagues, which can be brutal as well. It's not always the players that angle for moves. Look what happens with Chelsea. They've literally told Nicholas Jackson, we don't want you. We got Delap, we got João Pedro, off you go. We got an injury, we want you back. So and we did it with Jack Harrison as well. So I always just say there's always sides to the story. And Visser today put out a long old statement like Isak did, saying that Brentford promised him a move. Just saying it happens both ways, people. Loyalty happens both ways. And there's no loyalty. It's business. And that's why I always just try and convey to you, no one's going to love your club like you do. So don't expect it from players. But yeah, just saying that it happens both ways. But yeah, people, that is it for the cool down today. Like I say, I should be back later today with some signing news, and we'll go live for that. But until then, like this video, hype the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.